Assalamualaikum. Today I want to introduce Tahara, which is the Islamic concept of holistic cleanliness. In Islam, hygiene is not just a personal choice, it is a core theological principle famously described by Prophet Muhammad as half of faith. Tahara is unique because it connects physical health directly with spiritual devotion through two main pillars. First is physical cleanliness, which is Tahara al-Zahir, which is it requires removing material impurities through daily rituals like wudu or ablution or ghusl, which is a ritual bathing. Second is spiritual cleanliness, which is tazkiyah, which focuses on purifying the heart from negative traits like pride, lying, and ego. What makes Sahara fascinating is how it perfectly aligns with modern science and public health centuries before germ theory was discovered. For instance, the daily practice of wudu acts as a rigorous infection control routine that mirrors modern hand-washing guidelines. Similarly, the Prophet's heavy emphasis on using the miswak, which is a natural teeth cleaning twig that has been scientifically proven today to kill oral bacteria and prevent gum disease. Ultimately, Tahara shows us that Islamic cleanliness is a complete way of life that protects community health while offering individuals a daily moment of mental calm.
So now, I will explain the first issue, which is the concept of tahara, or Islamic cleanliness. In Islam, cleanliness is very important because it is considered part of our faith. Before performing salah, Muslims must make sure that their body, clothes, and also place of prayer are clean. This shows that Islam not only teaches us how to worship Allah, but also how to take care of our health. So the importance of tahara goes beyond physical cleanliness. It also helps us develop self-discipline and maintain spiritual purity. At the same time, modern scientific research has shown that many hygiene practices taught in Islam, such as regular washing and keeping ourselves clean, can help prevent diseases and also infections. These practices also encourage a healthy lifestyle and support the objective of Islamic law, or Maqasid al-Sharia, which aim to protect human life and well-being.
For the second issue problem is preventive healthcare in Islam by wudu and also siwak. The first one is wudu. Wudu clean the face, hands, mouth, nose and also feet regularly. It helps maintain personal hygiene and also provide spiritually purifications before worship. The second one is siwak. Siwak is a natural tool for cleaning teeth and also gums. It promotes oral health and also a fresh breath. This is encouraged by Prophet Muhammad SAW. The benefits from this is the first one, it can improve personal hygiene. The second one, reduce risk of disease. The third one, maintain oral health. And also the last one is combine physical and spiritual care. Islam encourages preventive healthcare through practice such as wudu and also siwak. Wudu helps Muslims stay clean throughout the day by washing important parts of the body regularly. Siwak is a natural toothbrush that helps maintain oral hygiene. Together, this practice shows how Islam promotes both health and also spiritually. Moving to research questions, this section covers three main areas. The first one is public health and epidemiology focus. This focus on how daily ritual washing affect the spread of germs. Our research question, to what extent does the practice of daily wudu, which is ablution, among practicing Muslims, correlate with lower rates of community-acquired skin and respiratory infection in environments? The second one is women health and gynecology focus. This point out that Islamic jurisprudence outlines very meticulous rules regarding hygiene and purification post-menstruation, which is haid, and postnatal bleeding, which is nifas. Our research question is, to what extent do Islamic guidelines on tahara, post-menstruation and postnatal align with modern gynecological best practices in preventing urinary tract infection, which is UTI, and bacterial diagnosis? The third one is pediatric health and early childhood education focus. This look into how hygiene habits are formed from a young age through Islamic teaching at home. Our research question is, how does parental guidance regarding Islam toilet hygiene protocols, which is istinja, in early childhood hygiene influence a child personal hygiene compliance and health awareness in modern school environment? On to the next section, which is research objective, which directly correspond to our main focus. Under the public health and epidemiology focus, our objective is actually to examine the specific steps of wudu, such as rinsing the nose, mouth, and washing hands and face, and map them against modern epidemiological principles of personal hygiene and germ transmission. For the second one, for the women's health and gynecology focus, our main objective is to investigate the specific Islamic jurisprudential rules of tahara, which is purification, haid, menstruation, and nifas postnatal bleeding regarding female personal hygiene. And finally, under the pediatric health and early childhood education focus, our main focus is to explore the core method of teaching on Islamic toilet hygiene protocols, which is istinja and istijmar, which is taught by parents to young children at their home.
Assalamualaikum. Today I will explain about the health benefits of Islamic purifications practice, focusing on daily wudu and women health in Islam. Firstly, wudu is the ritual ablution performed before the prayer. Besides being an act of worship, it also promotes personal hygiene because Muslims wash their hands, mouth, nose, face, arms, and feet several times a day. This regular cleansing helps remove dirt and improve while encourage good hygiene habits. Islam emphasized that the importance of maintaining both spiritual and physical well-being, although the hadith narrated by Ibn Majah does not specifically mention wudu, it highlights the importance of protecting ourselves from disease and preserving the health of society. Therefore, daily wudu is not only a religious obligation but also a practice that supports a clean and healthy lifestyle. Next, for women health, Islam requires tahara of purifications after menstruations, known as haid, and postnatal bleeding, known as nifas. This includes performing wush or the ritual bath before resuming act of worship. As stated in Surah Al-Baqarah verse 222, Allah loves those who purify themselves. Besides fulfilling a religious duty, proper cleansing promotes reproductive hygiene and help maintain cleanliness. This shows that Islam teachings encourage practice that benefits both spiritual devotions and physical health. In conclusion, both daily wudu and tahara demonstrate that Islam place great importance on cleanliness. This practice strengthens our relationship with Allah while also promoting a healthier and more hygienic way of life.
Moving on to section 5.3, the developmental impact of early istinja training. To ground our discussion, we look to the beautiful verse from Surah Al-Baqarah verse 222, prominently featured on the slide. Truly, Allah loves those who turn to Him in repentance and loves those who purify themselves. This reminds us that cleanliness isn't just a physical necessity, it carries a profound spiritual weight. When we introduce istinja, the practice of ritual cleansing, to young children early on, it leaves a lasting developmental impact across three core areas. First, let's talk about higher compliance at school. When children are training in a structured home toilet routine, they learn to wash thoroughly with water and dry themselves properly. Because this habit becomes second nature, they carry these consistent cleanliness standards effortlessly into school environments. Teachers notice the difference and the child faces no anxiety adjusting to independent bathroom breaks away from home. Second, early training is vital for cultivating child autonomy. Fostering independence in self-cleansing builds Immediate personal confidence. It teaches young children to respect and understand mindful physical boundaries, resulting in high self-reliance and a healthy basic body appreciation. They learn that taking care of their bodies is their own honorable responsibility. Finally, we look at the core parental mandate. As parents and educators, anchoring these habits during the early childhood years fulfills a divine spiritual preference. Simultaneously, it lays down a robust developmental blueprint for physical health and lifelong hygiene. By teaching this early, we marry spiritual devotion with practical everyday wellness.
Systemic costs refer to the overall economic burden of non-communicable diseases (NCDs). Unlike infection diseases, NCDs require long-term treatment and continuous care, leading to high medical costs for medications, hospital visits, and healthcare services. They also reduce productivity because patients may need to take time off work or stop working altogether. Beyond the financial impact, NCDs can lower a person's quality of life by causing physical, emotional, and mental challenges. In many cases, the high cost of long-term treatment forces families to spend a large portion of their income on healthcare, pushing them into debt or even poverty. Another issue is the methodological difference between modern and traditional medicine. Modern medicine mainly focuses on diagnosing and treating diseases using scientific evidence, laboratory tests, and medication after an illness occurs. In contrast, traditional Islamic practices such as Taharah emphasize prevention by maintaining cleanliness and overall well-being. Daily practices like wudu and siwak are not only acts of physical hygiene but are also part of a holistic lifestyle that promotes health and spiritual well-being. So while modern medicine is often treatment focused, traditional practices place greater emphasis on preventing illness before it develops.
Next, I will discuss about the solution, which is paring nails. Keeping our nails short is a simple way to maintain personal hygiene. Long nails can trap the bacteria and parasite which may spread the disease. Islam encourages this practice as part of fitrah and cleanliness. Therefore, trimming our nails regularly help protect both of our health and spiritual well-being. Another solution is the practice of siwak. Using siwak helps remove plaque, prevent cavities, and reduce bad breath. Islam encourages to clean our teeth regularly, especially before prayers. This practice not only improves our oral health but also earns spiritual rewards.
Now, I will explain the research methodology used in this study. This study used a qualitative research methodology because it focused on understanding concepts, meanings, opinions, and human behavior rather than collecting numerical data. The main purpose of this study is to analyze the Islamic concept of tahara or cleanliness and examine how it is connected to the modern health practices. A qualitative approach is suitable because it allowed us to explore the meaning of cleanliness in Islam and understand how it contributes to both physical and spiritual well-being. To collect the information, this research used several methods, namely library research, online literature review, document analysis, and content analysis. The first method is library research. This method involves collecting information from reliable sources such as the Al-Quran, Hadiths, books, academic journals, and previous research studies related to Islamic cleanliness. By using these sources, the researcher is able to understand the concept of tahara, including both physical cleanliness and spiritual purification. For example, in Surah Al-Tawbah, verses 108, Allah says that Allah loves those who purify themselves. This verse shows that tahara is not only about keeping ourselves physically clean, but is also an act of worship that earns Allah's love. Therefore, cleanliness in Islam is closely related to both faith and health. The second method is the online literature review. This method involves collecting information from reliable online sources such as academic journals, research articles, trusted websites, and educational blogs. Using online resources help the researcher find recent studies and discussion about Islamic teachings and modern healthcare. It has also allowed us to compare Islamic perspective with current medical findings. Since these resources are available online, they are easy to access and provide up-to-date information that strengthens the research.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Auni Shafika binti Azmi and my matrix number is 1251618. So now I would like to explain about the third and fourth research methodology that used in this study. So the third one, the researchers use document analysis, which is a qualitative research method where researchers collect and examine existing written materials to obtain relevant information for the study. So in this document, it may include like journal and articles, news and reports, and also official documents. So in this research, the researchers referred to articles from the World Health Organization, WHO, as well as journals written by Asif Hussein. Researchers carefully read, review, and interpreted these sources before selecting the information that was relevant to the research topic. In simple words, document analysis helps researchers gather reliable evidence from existing documents instead of collecting new data directly from participants. Lastly, the method used in this study is content analysis. Although it is similar to document analysis, content analysis more focusing on identifying and analyzing specific words, themes, concepts, or patterns within the collected documents. So instead of simply reading the documents, researchers examine the meanings and relationships between important concepts. For example, in this study, the researchers analyzed concepts related to cleanliness in Islam, such as wudu, tahara, and istinja. The researchers also explore how these concepts are connected to public health, epidemiology, women's health, and pediatric health. So these methods help researchers understand the deeper meaning and relationships between different ideas presented in the documents. To conclude, document analysis was used to collect and review information from reliable written sources, while content analysis was used to examine the meanings, themes, and relationships within those documents. So, combination these two methods provided trustworthy and well-organized data for the research.